It's fascinating to watch the systems that run the country, the deep state, attempt to preserve itself in the status quo. There's something in the business world that we call creative destruction. In creative destruction, you make a decision to destroy your own creations. Steve Jobs was brilliant at this. Steve Jobs would set up teams within Apple whose job was to take down an existing team. And would give them a little startup budget, a little skunkworks budget. And if they could build technology better or able to capture more market share than the existing system, they could take over the existing system. You could look at it as someone who's an evolutionary thinker, thinking of the survival of the fittest. When creative destruction is stalled, let's say through entropy or through powers that you amass by being powerful for too long of a time, other entities will come along and destroy you. Think of this. When Microsoft had been so dominant in the operating system world, and they used the operating system world to become dominated in applications by creating an open system where anyone could apply to be a developer in the Windows ecosystem, then they started to amass all the applications they had to run on Windows. They became very, very powerful. And they failed to notice a little startup called Google until it was too late. Google came along and went at Microsoft kind of around the corner. They developed a mass of users based upon a search product that was world-class. They developed a very slick and very easy monetization system. They developed a way for anybody to run a worldwide ad campaign, which right now sounds like, well, of course, but that wasn't the case. This was utterly revolutionary, that you from your desktop could purchase ads on the biggest websites in the world in about 5 minutes. When they amassed all that, they began to eat away on some of the core business that Microsoft had, including the operating system, not by going at the desktop first, but by going at phones. Then they went at the desktop using Chrome and Chromebooks. Microsoft couldn't see this coming because they had become an entropy-driven enterprise. They didn't creatively destroy what they had. Washington, D.C. is happy to destroy what we have. They just don't want to see their bureaucracy destroyed. And Donald Trump and the people, some of the people that he's nominated, are creative destruction, walking and breathing. And the people in D.C. are freaked out, particularly people like Andy McCabe. Now, I'm not going to send him this stuff because I wanted him to be freaked out. But if one of the things he wanted to do was be less freaked out, he could use a product called Wisdom, which is Bible-based, a Bible-based herbal blend. Simple to take. In fact, it's delicious. It's a dietary supplement. It's GMO-free. It's vegan if you're into that. Gluten-free. My daughter is into that. It was developed by a guy named Dr. Patrick Gentempo. He was in the Holy Land. He walked where Jesus Christ walked. And as he was doing that, he was reading about the Bible's healing knowledge. And this inspired him. He wanted to create a product that would combine the truth of the Bible with the observable science of the modern life to restore vitality, mental clarity, better sleep, stress relief, joint health, detoxification, healthy inflammation response, pain, and more. And that's what he did with Wisdom. When I first tried this product, I reached out to the sales team and said, I would love to get these guys on the show. I was stunned and just humbled to learn that they actually watch and or listen to the show. Wow. My wife tried this, and here's something she said. We paid for her to go to a very expensive health retreat in Colorado. It was a couple of weeks. She and my daughter went. This mimics some of what they got at that clinic, which was also Bible-based. You can try this. You can choose to be more relaxed, to have more calm, to have a better immune response. All of this with one drop at night is when I take it. So try it yourself and experience the power of wisdom. Right now, when you visit trywisdomnow.com/Todd, you can stock up on Wisdom for an incredible 33% off today, plus free shipping. Each order comes with a 180-day money-back guarantee. The website is trywisdomnow.com/Todd. As I said, Andy McCabe could use some wisdom. He could use some fear of the Lord. I ain't sending him my wisdom. Maybe he'll buy some from me. We'll see. Andy McCabe is not a fan of Kash Patel being named as President Trump's nominee to run the FBI.
Andrew, I just want to start first with you and just get your reaction to this news tonight.
Yeah, well, it's a terrible development for the men and women of the FBI and also for the nation that depends on a highly functioning, professional, independent Federal Bureau of Investigation. The fact that Kash Patel is profoundly unqualified for this job is not even like a matter for debate. So I think what we should really be thinking about right now is, what does this signal in terms of Donald Trump's intent for the FBI? The installation, or the nomination, I guess we should say at this point, of Kash Patel as FBI director can only possibly be a plan to disrupt, to dismantle, to distract the FBI, and to possibly use it as a tool for the president's political agenda. And, you know, as an organization, we know what that looks like. This country has been there before.
I don't think he means that it's been there before in the past, 4 years under figurehead Biden, but it's been there for the past 4 years under figurehead Biden. It was there under Barack Hussein Obama. Andy McCabe was part of Russia. He was part of protecting the Hunter Biden laptop. He was part of pretending that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, propaganda. He was part of all of that. Andy McCabe was part of an FBI that has not gone after the people who've been bombing these pro-life centers, these birth centers. There's been about 80 bombings. There's been about 6 people arrested. They're not pursuing them with any seriousness. The FBI, who knows intelligence officials lied about the genesis of the Hillary Clinton scandal, about President Trump being a Russian asset. They know where that came from. They know there were campaign monies laundered through a law firm. That's a crime. You're laundering the intent. President Trump just about went to prison for a bookkeeping error or falsification. Remember on Stormy Daniels, the FBI knows all these things. The idea that Andrew McCabe is worried about the weaponization of the FBI is laughable. But what about Kash Patel's actual status for the job? He was the chief of staff at the Department of Defense, deputy director of national intelligence, senior director for counterterrorism at the National Security Council. He's tried 60 jury trials. He is as qualified, if not more qualified, than all the previous FBI directors. But Andy McCabe is right about something. Kash Patel is there to destroy the C-suite. That's what we call them in business, the bosses. The same bosses who've lied to the American people and who are political actors. Here's what's fascinating about Kash Patel. He was victimized by Andy McCabe's deeply nonpartisan FBI. When Kash was working on the Russia investigation for the Congress with the White House, the FBI spied on him. They went to Google and said, we want all his information. Kash Patel found this out 5 years after the fact when Google lawyers called him and said, hey, by the way, we had an order to give the FBI all your information. Kash Patel said, look, I'm a prosecutor. I get it. They went to everybody. They don't just go to Google. They went to Facebook. They went to my banks. They went to my phone companies. They did that in order to try to find dirt on the guy whose task was to investigate their investigation. It's not nonpartisan. To Andy McCabe, I would say this. You're getting to victimize the CNN audience who's going to listen to you and believe you. We don't believe you. At least I don't. Good news is you don't need to care if I believe you. God knows every single motive in your heart. He listened to every conversation you had, encrypted or otherwise. Even if you had them in secure rooms, God was there. He doesn't respect your encryption or your secure rooms. Everything whispered in the dark will one day be shouted from the rooftops. And one day, Andy, you will answer for any of the lies you have foisted upon the American people, as I will. We'll all answer.